Tonight, the Holy Hour Podcast presents the first annual Cure Awards nomination ceremony for artistry and excellence in the field of recordings and live performances by The Cure, spanning the last 46 years. Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Gavin, Chaz, and Antonio.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Sit down, ladies and gentlemen.
What a night. Hello, fellas.
Enough applause. It's not about us. It's not about us.
All right. Everyone have a seat. We got a lot to get through tonight. Welcome, Chaz Antonio. This is it. This is the big night everyone's been waiting for. Finally, the award show everybody's been waiting for. All Cure. The Cure wins every category tonight. Ready to do this proper on the heels of the Grammys, which is always a disappointment. And I gave up on it at a young age. How about you guys? The Grammys ever mean anything to you?
I don't think I've ever watched a Grammys performance other than maybe like highlighted individual performances by artists, but
yeah,
like is that where the dude from Rage Against the Machine climbed the tower, or was that during the MTV Music Awards?
I feel like that was MTV.
I think that was the MTV Awards.
Okay, yeah, that's the only
anything,
music award show I think I ever watched. Maybe.
Yeah. So. If anything ever interesting happened, it was probably on an MTV Award one. I don't think they keep it so safe and boring at the Grammys. That, I remember as a kid wanting them to be like, even comparable to the Oscars, for music, and it's definitely not. It's all just like, what albums do we need to sell, boys? Let's get them together.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a few throughout the years, but I mean, definitely have not turned it on in probably at least 18 to 20 years. So like, what I mean? When I was younger, it's like, it's like you turn it on because there was no streaming services. Like if I was home and it was on, it was like, all right, it was background. It was like, who's performing? You couldn't like quickly Google it. Sometimes it was like a surprise if you didn't see the commercials. It was like, like I was like, all right, those Nirvana 2.0, like Foo Fighters. I'll check this out.
Yeah, well, I secretly banned them in 1992 as a kid because I was still taking it way too personal. But Wish was nominated for Best Alternative Album. I think it might have been the only time The Cure's been nominated. Maybe later years they just tried to give them that Mercy Grammy for sticking around or whatever. But they were nominated for Best Alternative, and then I was like,
who won over them?
Well, the thing was, it was a great year. It was a category. I was like into the B-52s, even though it was the Good Stuff album, which kind of sucked, but it was still following big Love Shack album and everything, Cosmic Thing.
Yeah.
Morrissey, for what it's worth. It was Your Arsenal, which is one of his best albums. I forget who the other nominees were.
No one ever.
But Tom Waits won, which makes total sense now. It was Tom Waits that beat him. So I was like, fuck that. Who the fuck is, now, of course, I get early Tom Waits I'm into, but still shouldn't have beat out Wish. Come on, man. That was like,
that's bullshit. I guarantee Wish has sold more copies of that than that fucking Tom Waits record.
Yeah, he's just the kind of dude that they're going to give it to, too. They're all
he's like a musician's musician, too.
Yeah,
it's like, it's like one of those.
But I took it real personal. So that's why we're doing this finally after all these years tonight. We're giving The Cure their own award show, as we said. And here's how this is going to work. This is the nominations portion of it for you guys out there. So we are going to go through the categories tonight. So there'll be 3 choices, and we're going to pick them. And then we're going to put it out for you guys, the listeners, on a survey. And you'll have 2 weeks to complete it. And whoever the winner is will be the true champion. And maybe we'll do this every year. That'd be cool. And see if it changes much. Because we refer back a lot to that, like, slicing up eyeballs one that everybody voted on best Cure song and stuff like that over the years. They've been polls for this or that. And, any of those kind of lists in the magazines, everybody always loves to get all riled up that so-and-so isn't the best or whatever. So of course, your choice might not match ours, but this is just, our nominations, and you get to decide from the three out there. So
Yeah, we're putting the winning of these categories into the hands of the fans, not a writer, not a producer, not none of that. So
the
it's
holy hour listeners, the true Cure fans out there. So yeah, it'll be cool to see what matches up and who runs away with it. And we can't wait to dive in. And we're going to post that survey on our Facebook page. Should be able to get it on Instagram. And I don't think I'll put it in the Facebook groups. I kind of don't want to invade other groups with it. So you'll have to come to us to vote on it, but it should be easy to find. I'm going to try to post it everywhere I can. So sound good?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, as John Denver once said before the 1982 Grammys, I believe it was.
This with a show that's so hot it's gonna pop if we don't get right into it.
And like most award shows, we can't just come out blazing with best album right off the bat. So we're gonna build suspense with a few of the more dubious categories, but fun nonetheless. So shall we begin, fellas?
Let's
Our first
do it.
category of the evening is going to be the late edition. So how about we start off with Best Album That Never Came Out by The Cure. So this is an album that we know is probably technically mostly recorded and done somewhere, but it never came out. So I guess I'll kick this one off with the obvious choice, and I will nominate the Songs of a Lost World album. Even though we don't know, is it the best? I think it is. It's gonna be, maybe, but right now, that's my choice. What about you, Chaz?
I am going to go with best album not released is going to be David Allen's Wish.
Ooh. All right. It has been referenced. If you've been listening to this show for a while, there is a rumored mix of Wish out there that Dave Allen did, maybe just for his own pleasure. I don't know if it was ever seriously considered to be the final mix ever or what, but very curious to hear. That was a great choice. Good job, Chaz. How about you, Antonio?
Dun, 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 dun.
Right?
I was gonna say 414 because then I know there were whispers at one point of just like a mega edition of the mixed ups like together in one thing with a couple more. But I think, something that never came out at all at 414.
I don't think my trash bag is heavy enough to carry that one.
All those remixes.
I
think everybody with the deluxe edition is good for
It's
a
good.
while,
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. Well, I think that's what it then really kind of, bumped that out. Yeah.
All right. So we'll see who the final choices then for the voting public out there would be. Songs of a Lost World, Dave Allen remix of Wish, and 414 Scream, the full version of what never came out for 413 G.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on. Our next category is Best Time Travel Year. Again, something we've referenced quite a bit in the history of this. Getting
It's
that
a
clunky old
DeLorean.
time machine. Yeah, well, whether George Carlin takes you there or the DeLorean, however we get back, we got to see what would be the best. We just went by year, I think was probably, I guess if you want to say an era. Chaz will kick this one off.
Whoa. All right. So I'm going to go back to 1982. I would love to see The Cure as a three-piece in a small venue.
Yeah. Pretty hard to argue that. That's
For sure.
gonna see something, whether it's just a brilliant performance or it's a brilliant performance and there's like 6 people in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
Or they're all throwing shit at each other and
drunken rages.
Yeah. So cool. What about you, Antonio? Which do you think is a good time travel year?
I am gonna travel back to 89.
Classic.
Go back to 89 and you're getting the bulk of the best years of The Cure now under your belt. Disintegration is new. They're playing those songs. You finally got Loloff
Wolf's still there. He's just drunk.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
just
yeah,
hanging
I think it was
out.
towards the end of '89. They kind of were like, "All right, you just go hit that note on the keyboard."
Like
Like
89, he'd be gone by that point.
yeah,
right?
no,
Would he?
I think he was
He
gone.
would
Yeah,
be
because
gone,
towards it was. I think it was during the recording, at the end of the mid
Okay.
recording, right?
Recording and-
Kind of boosted
yeah.
him. I think I'd want to see them like kind of for the first time playing some of those Disintegration songs. Back
Yeah.
to back with pornography tracks, and like everything kind of still didn't seem. Probably would have still seemed kind of fresh, and like I think that was like a good time coming out of that record. I feel like they made it. He made it through. Robert made it through recording that album. So it's like you had a new lease on life because if he was gonna hang himself, it was gonna be during the recording.
Probably
That
before, yeah. So, so might as well stick around a bit. So
yeah.
cool, awesome. Well, those are my actual first two choices as well. So I'll go with my third pick, which will be 1992, which was the first time I did see The Cure. So I'd already been there. So I just want to see them again in 1992, I guess. Or I could like hang out with young me while we watch The Cure for the first time. That'd be kind of
There you
funny.
go.
So.
Yeah.
Get real weird with it. But I think as far as The Cure, keeping this not about me and The Cure, I think, just that lineup and Wish in general is great to revisit live. So that will be my nomination of 1992. We got Perry in there on keys and guitar. And Poro and Boris are still just destroying it. So
Yeah, I think
Good
that's
times.
that's three solid choices, people. Three solid choices.
awesome. All right, next category is a little bit in the fashion sense as we step into the design portion of the ceremony here. Antonio is going to present his choice for best era of Simon Gallup fashion.
Yes.
So
I went a little more or less like the era and time and more the look, although
Right.
this look did encapsulate a certain amount of years. But I'm going to go with Simon Gallup wearing anything sleeveless.
anything
There was that
sleeveless.
time where Simon did not believe in sleeves, whether it
Yeah.
was a denim jacket with the sleeves cut off, a leather vest, t-shirts, sleeves cut off.
Shit. That might be
Sleeveless
from,
Simon
like,
Gallup
what?
is my favorite.
That
is a pretty
encompasses
big-
like a lot of like
Oh.
different spots of the
Yeah, it's like
of the Cure.
92 to
Even now,
Yeah, but not as much. It doesn't do it as much now.
he wears
All right,
wears
all
that
right, sorry.
fucking Iron Maiden shirt.
Yeah,
Without the
that's
sleeves.
true. He does love that. All right,
Yeah.
all right. So I'm gonna go with like sleeveless 92 to what's it, to I guess 93.
Oh yeah, we'll go with that.
But I had to
Sounds
emphasize that
good.
it's because of rocking the sleeveless.
All right, I guess it'll lead back to me. So my choice would be I'm gonna go for like pornography era where it almost looks like he's in the Misfits for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That was mine.
Yeah, like greaser.
Yeah.
Like,
Punk Simon.
Yeah, so I'm going for that one, even though there are some good ones to choose from with him. But yeah, Punk Simon, hard to top that.
Yeah.
So. What do you think, Chaz?
I'm going with 2023 Simon.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
Yeah. For his
leggings
age,
and boots.
love it. Yep. Up there on stage, still energetic, still rocking the sleeveless, and as Antonio likes, and
Yeah.
I think he's in great form. So
Yeah, those trout pants did it. for
yeah.
So no one went for samurai hair, Simon.
him.
I was gonna go with
Man
cowboy
buns
hat
on.
Simon, but like I just like I
Yeah, I think
couldn't.
that was the bottom of the list for me. Was
Yeah.
the Little Bo Peep era. But yeah, some good ones. I had Wolverine Simon on Trilogy.
yeah.
I think he was very
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman Wolverine
Yeah,
looking there.
that's a
but,
good call.
Cool. All right. Well, keeping with the fashion sense, our next category is best era of Mr. Robert Smith's hairdo. So, when do you think that glorious mane of his looked best? I'll kick it off with my favorite being. I gotta go with the top, I think, because it's just wonderfully huge and out of control, like the caterpillar
All right.
video. It's like all kinds of different directions. There's like 20 different geometrical shapes going on there. So I think I gotta go with that one. Over the top. What about you, Chaz?
I'm going to go with 19 right after that. I'm going to go like, well, I mean, I think there's a distinction between 85 and 87. So I'm going to go with
Yeah.
87.
Okay. So
Yeah,
like
right around there. 86, 87. I think it's the most iconic
yeah, it's a little more
version of
stylized in
yeah,
87. Like has a few
yeah,
little swooping, hanging down
yeah.
pieces. Yes, I agree. That's a good.
Unfortunately, it was the time of the band where everybody else was trying to do the same thing. Like you had Lowell trying to do it, it never came out, and they had
Yeah.
Right,
Simon
yeah.
looking the same way. It was
Yeah.
just like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because at that point they looked like a hen house filled with like fancy chickens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Boris even has the big hair and shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And you had Lowell with the sleeveless, or not the sleeveless, the collarless shirt with just the black button on top. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. All right. What do you think, Antonio? What was
All right, I am going with Entreat cover style Robert Smith hair. So 89.
Okay. I like
It
that.
was a little, it was like it's up in and it's out, but it was a little more like they're all just going in the out direction, and very well hairsprayed, almost
Yeah,
like
that was
almost like if it was a cartoon and you were standing on a bomb that went off, and then when the smoke cleared, your hair kind of like, but that's always to me an iconic hair image of Robert is that Entreat.
True.
Kind of all the promo photos for that, whether it's the cover or there were the poster was a little different, but it was all from the same photo shoot with that kind of that shirt.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
You can smell the aquanet.
Yeah,
just by looking
100%.
at
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Don't
know
light
it-
a
you know it-
cigarette anywhere
right.
around
Yeah,
him.
it's super crispy. Like you flick it with your finger, and you're gonna hurt your finger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
There's holes in the ozone of like on tour where they went.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just over where they went. I'm surprised that none of us picked in orange.
Yeah, the sort of buzz cut,
Yeah,
I guess.
I love that buzz cut.
Yeah, it is cool. I wouldn't put it in the top, but yeah, I like the one was the Japanese Whispers kind of shorter do. Where it's like the little mini version of like his out of control.
Yeah,
top
and I
wig,
almost
where it's
called
like-
to some of his younger years the John Cusack hair era, like
A little bit, yeah,
like
yeah,
shorter and a
definitely.
little more stylized, where he looked like he just didn't say anything or something.
Yeah, just
I-
like a little
I-
fluffy parted in the middle, kind of.
I did like where he got to the point where he's like, "Oh, this is a fashion thing."
Yeah.
Around you like 82, 80, 83, where he's just 81, where he's just like, "Yeah, let's do this,"
Yeah.
and like it starts going crazy and like punky almost, but like still kept that like feeling of like 84, 85, where it's still
Yeah.
up there. So
Yeah, because like even through pornography, it's getting big and sticking up,
Yeah.
but it still kind of looks like he might have just didn't cut it and he just woke up and it looks like that. It doesn't look like he spent as much
woke up
time.
and quickly hit the stage.
Yeah, so definitely.
But I did like in my
mid-80s.
research, there were times where people had some funny photos where when he tied the thing around his hair, it was like.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, the hairspray's dripping into my eyes. What am I gonna do? Let me put this let me throw this up in my hair.
All right, back to the category for unreleased things. We're gonna bounce off of the album, but this time unreleased song. So this could be a bonus track that we know exists out there but didn't come out on a deluxe edition yet, or just never got recorded, or something that's been played live but has just never come out officially on a recording. So best unreleased song.
I'm gonna go back to the well, and I'm gonna say "Letter to Elise," David Allen's mix.
Whoa.
That is sitting in a vault somewhere.
Okay, so just that one in particular, at least, even if we
I
don't
mean,
get
I
the
was gonna go
whole-
the whole album, but I can't go the whole album. I mean,
You
I would
already
also
did the
like to
whole
hear
album, so
Wendy
yeah.
Time, and just like imagine that the main version doesn't exist. But
Okay.
if I had to pick one track, if he was like, you can only pick one track to ever hear off of
Yeah.
this album, in my version, I'd be like, it's got to be Letter to Elise.
Yeah, just
on
hook
that
me up
album.
with a letter to Elise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pump
okay.
that into my veins.
Yeah, give it to
Alright.
me.
Between my toes.
Yeah, I think we could all use one more version of that song for sure. So good choice. All right, Antonio, what would be the
So I am going with the unreleased,
gem?
played live, but never put out into the world, A Boy I Never Knew.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely, I've gone and rocked that on YouTube so many times, kind of throughout the years, and it's such a beautiful personal song, and I almost feel like it would have fit whatever is going on for him emotionally in this new record.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
Yeah.
if we ever get it, maybe that
Yeah,
a deluxe
that would be
edition, I feel
cool.
like he could have brought that back at this time because it has
Mhm.
that feel to it, and because I've had, I think, more time to sit with that song and hear it, and have want a studio version so badly,
Yeah.
that it had to be my number one.
I'm not even overly quality nerd kind of dude, as you guys have probably known. But at this point, where it doesn't bother me too bad to listen to something that's rough. But that one, it's still hard to get like a real, even the live bootlegs. It's never quite as clear and good as I want it to be. I would love just to hear that, like in a
Yeah,
real
like if they
crisp
were to play
studio kinda-
it live now with the technology and the iPhones and shit, we'd get
Yeah, that
a pretty
would-
decent version that someone would throw through something and clear it out.
right.
But it still probably hasn't been played since.
So, but yeah, I think they did drag it into maybe almost as late as like going into 414 stuff. Like they might have played it around like 2007 or at some one-off thing. But
Yeah, like a
but yeah, I
festival
think
or something. But
yeah, because it was a self-titled album outtake, I think. Right, that was.
I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah,
Which is
I
crazy
believe
to
so.
me because I'm like, there's so much shit on that record, and this song is
know,
great.
right? It's like, how did that not make? Oh well, we'll save that discussion for another
Yeah,
time.
because he couldn't scream on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're gonna get the best producers, so we got
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my choice for best unreleased song is. I'm just gonna go sappy and choose the new one's end song. I'm really dying to hear like a full blast studio version. Same kind of reasoning. Even though the bootlegs have been great, I want to hear every little detail crystal clear on that because there's some cool shit going on that song for sure. So as of now, hopefully that'll change by next year's annual ceremony. We'll see. But so yeah, our choices: end song, Boy I Never Knew, and Dave Allen mix of Letter to Elise. Cool. All right, where are we at? Antonio, you want to kick off the next category?
Yes.
I think we're going in order if you have the list in front of you.
Yeah, we got best B-side.
Ooh, yeah, everybody loves a Cure B-side.
Yeah.
So, what are our nominees?
Again, there's no loser in this category.
Yeah.
I truly feel, but I am going to go with the song that I think has the longest time or has the most importance to me currently that I listen to the most, and I'm gonna go with Halo.
Yeah.
I adore that song. I think it's some of the most beautifully, again, poetic lyrics. It's a song that my wife and I both love and like that we feel about each other, and both of us have been listening to The Cure for so long, but we met later in life. It was never a song that we had attached to anybody else, and it was like, wow, you love that song too, and it's just one of those tracks that kind of just beautifully flies under the radar in that giant B-side collection that is so fucking good. So Halo.
Yeah, I mean it's great when it's a lot of bands have great B-sides, but like arguably a single even,
Yeah.
I mean that could
it could have been a radio single with like
been a damn
with
single,
a little
let
more
alone-
mixing. I mean, it's not the hugest production either, and I think that's one of the other things that makes it great. It's when you can do a song like simple, no tricks, no ponies, and it's still that good. To the root, it's a great song.
All right, my choice would be, I guess I gotta go with "Exploding Boys" first on my list. So I just love that song. It was one of those ones that grabbed me just as early as all the ones on the A side of "Standing on a Beach." So I feel like that has to shine through. I'm not really sure what it is. It's the energy. I mean, it's not a super deep lyric song or anything complex that's mind blowing, but it's just fun as shit. It's catchy and never gets old somehow.
Yep.
So, cool.
Well,
What you got, Chaz?
You made my decision easier because there
All
was
right.
scales between Burn and Exploding Boy. So,
Okay.
and now it went to Burn and Sugar Girl, but Burn's gonna have to win out on this one. So,
Okay.
Burn is
I
I
guess we
guess it's
count
a
that, right? Do we
B-side,
count that as a
right?
B-side?
Can
I
we
mean,
count
it's
that?
on standing. It's on Join the Dots, so I guess that.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say they did put it on Join the Dots.
What is the official name of Join the Dots? Does anybody have it? Is it called B-sides and rarities or B-sides and outtakes?
Let's go to.
Because they put soundtrack songs and standalone singles on there.
It's
Yeah.
B-sides and rarities from 78 to
Okay.
2001.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we should disqualify Burn then. I think. I want a proper B-side. You have to flip something over to listen to it.
Yeah,
What's that?
then I'm gonna go with Sugar Girl.
Okay, cool. We'll take
Yeah.
that. Sugar. I think
Yeah.
Burn will probably pop up on something else too. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't work.
definitely.
So sorry to be a stickler there.
No, that's
but,
all right.
So Sugar Girl, yeah, that was on my list too. I love that song. Best cover song by The Cure. Not the best glowing category for The Cure as a band, I think. Songs that they have covered. So if you think back over all the different compilations again, some of these would be in the rarities of Join the Dots. But I'm going to go with... I don't know. I went back and forth on my list. I'm going to go with Pirate Ships. It's weird and feels like a cover. You never really get to hear like a solo acoustic Robert that often. So for that kind of reason, even though it's not my favorite, but I think it's the coolest. So I'm nominating Pirate Ships.
Probably gonna be the all outright winner, I guess. I don't really know. Yeah.
Eddie, what do you think?
Am I next or is it?
Yeah. What do you got?
And Foxy Lady, I don't fucking know.
That's the first one that popped in my head. I was like, "Who's a Foxy Lady?" I don't know. Purple Haze, I guess, is another contender.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hello, I Love
that
You
one, I guess,
is
had
a
more
contender.
exposure.
Hello, I Love You, World in My Eyes, Hello, Goodbye, the Beatles song. So you sticking with Foxy Lady, though?
I mean, didn't they do a cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart? That was like
Yeah,
kind of
I had that as my
recorded.
third choice. It was just like a live, like radio kind of thing, I think. but
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do
I think
these
I
have
would-
to have been recorded? Because mine's a live one that was never recorded.
Let's count those just to
Yeah.
make it a better category. So do you want to switch to Level Tears Apart, or do you want to stick
Sure,
with Foxy
why
Lady?
not?
Okay.
That is not their strong suit. Like,
This would be
it's
great
not-
if the
I'm
Oscars
sure
were
if they-
like this. Everyone's just talking each other out of the
Yeah.
nominees.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That movie sucked. So yeah, we'll put Level Tears Apart.
All right.
And what do you got, Antonio?
Don't Believe a Word by Thin Lizzy.
Whoa. All right. So I'm getting another live bootleg.
Yeah, I mean it was
Okay.
pretty cool. And I love me some Thin Lizzy, and obviously I love me some Cure. So smash those two things together, and that's my
All right.
nomination.
Don't Believe a Word. And Level Tear Us Apart. And Pirate Ships. Ooh, can't wait to see who's going to be the winner on that one. So
Yeah.
that's going to be good. Cool deal. All right, Chaz. Next category as we move away from covers. This one's right up there with some people's opinions of the Cure or Robert Smith collaboration tracks. So
Yeah.
where it's in collaboration, whether it be Robert guest vocaling or like the Republica chick on song. Even though I have a feeling you're not going to pick that song. All right,
I'm
what do you
gonna
got?
I'm gonna go with the collab with Blink 182.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite one of theirs. I know that some people roll their eyes at that one, but
Yeah.
I think it's one of only 3 good Blink-182 songs.
Oh.
ouch. Shots fired.
Who brought the
All
dick?
right.
We're trying to get Mark Hoppus on the show.
Yeah, what the
Oh,
hell?
my
bad. I was so close. So close.
I'm gonna go with Crystal Castles.
Yeah, that's like always the one
That
that
is-
everybody always
Not in love.
puts up there.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's just yeah. I mean it's also weird because it's like a cover of a cover, and he's collabs on it. So it's like a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It also
is kind of a.
yeah. It's interesting in its own right.
I've heard it's the only good Crystal, whatever the other band's name song is, but I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not a
no,
fan of
there's other Crystal Castle stuff that I definitely like, and I think Robert's singing on it is just so damn good, and it's just so catchy. Yeah,
Yeah, works great. It's definitely the one I throw on mixes if people haven't really heard much later Cure stuff that might not have. It's a good rarity that people might have been like, "Whoa, what the hell is this?"
yeah, because Crystal Castles is definitely, at least especially on this side of the pond, like that's not a radio play. It's like that wasn't, like being rocked hard over here. Like it's a little more. You kind of have to go out and find it, or have a Cure fan send it to you, like you said. So.
Yeah. Even though I probably love that Perfect Blue Sky one a little bit more, I'm going to put How Not to Drown on there because I think that was a really cool one that worked really well. So more recent with Churches.
Yeah.
How Not to Drown. So that is getting my nod. Let's move on to actual instruments. All right, as we start to get into the more nitty gritty of performances here.
All right.
Best keyboards on a recording.
All right, so best keyboards. I am going to go with The Walk.
The Walk.
I mean, it's the whole, you know what I mean? It is definitely
Whole
the
fucking
hook
song.
of the song. It is it's catchy. It's, as I dive into playing and doing more things with synths, it's just a fun one to play. It's, again, when you can take something super simple and make it super catchy. I mean, The Cure does that better than anyone else. So that is my nomination.
Yeah, we didn't say most complex. We just said best keyboard riffs and performance. Cool. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and go with Plain Song because I feel like that works in such a huge orchestral keyboard sound.
Yeah, I know that was my issue. I was trying to stay away from the keyboard ones that were like orchestras because I'm like, live, did he actually bring in cellos and violins? You know what I mean? In the recording, so I almost was like, as a fucking musician, I was like, I'm going to leave those out because there's plenty of stuff to pick from. But again, that was on my list, actually.
Since Roger pulls it off live so well,
so good.
I'll count that one. So, what do you got, Chaz?
I have Want.
Yeah, you like the keys on that?
Yeah, a little bit out there, but not a very key heavy song, but like during that bridge point, it flows in there really nicely. I love it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it is perfect in that bridge.
Yeah, that song's really fucking good. It's funny you said that. I've always loved it, but like while doing this, I kept almost like wanting to put Want somewhere,
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know what?
They talked about guitars or something.
My daughter,
like,
that's the song that tipped the scale for Madison in loving The Cure. Like she always liked it, but then she found that song and it became her like, once you've chosen like this is my song, you're a fan, so that which was really cool. I was like, oh, I love the fact that that's the one you chose, because it's not any of the typicals. I was like, good, go for it, kid.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that gets a bum rap by being on Wild Mood Swings because you could throw that in any era Cure and people would be like, this is fucking genius, So, KC really loves that one too. So I always forget how good it is too. Cool, man. The next category on the list is bass lines, but
I feel like the three of us are going to have the same three on this one, but I could be wrong.
could be similar. No, I got kind of a wild card at the end.
Do you?
But,
Okay.
Ooh.
who's kicking it off, though? Where are we
You.
That's
at?
you.
Is it
I
me?
think.
Yeah.
All right, then I am probably taking the obvious one. Actually, I'll save that one because I think somebody else will say it. So I'm going to say Sinking because I love Sinking's bass line.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Good.
That one will be my choice, and hope that you guys choose the other ones. I also. What do you got, Chaz?
I have Just Like Heaven.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's a good. I feel like it is with this kind of thing too. A lot of the big classic songs get a little overlooked because it's like they're so good all the way around.
Yeah.
If we're picking out little pieces, so I'm glad you chose that too. So Just Like Heaven. What you got, Antonio?
Well, I'm glad you guys left this one for me because I just covered it. I'm going with Fascination Street.
Yeah, I was gonna go with that, but I was just like, oh man, that bass and Just Like Heaven just
No, you're
just
100%.
brings that song
you are
like,
correct.
so together.
Again, another category that there's no wrong answer for me because
Oh,
Simon
yeah,
Gallup
yeah.
is
Yeah.
my bass player.
Yeah.
If I was picking a super group, it's the first and easiest one for me to answer. Because I do that all the time. I'm like, if I was gonna start a band and I could have anyone, you know what I mean? Like the first thing I grab is Simon Gallup as my bass player. So.
Any quick honorable mentions you want to shout out? Backup choices, I mean.
There's so
man.
many. Like I
There's
think
a-
like Close to Me. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's such
that's
an
up there.
important part of that song. A Forest.
Disintegration.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
God, again, we could.
I had Love Song actually as one because that's a really
That would
cool
be-
bass
yep,
line
yeah.
where it's like as much as everyone's tired of everything Love Song, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, that bass line's fucking rad. Somebody just plays that, you know exactly what it is.
Yes.
I think that's a huge nod of coolness is somebody could just play a bass line and you know what it is. That and
for
Love
sure.
Cats even,
Yeah.
it's like dum, 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 dum,
Yeah,
dum,
then
dum.
we're getting really real because
yeah.
that's like a stand-up bass. Like that.
Yeah,
that's like
so I
it's
always
like all right,
wanted
you
to
snooty bastard.
throw Phil a bone and put that on there.
Yeah.
But I had to go with Sinking. So cool. Let's move on to drums then. And Chaz can kick off his choice and nominee for best drum track on a recording.
I think this is simple for me because I've talked about it a bunch of times on the show and In Between Days.
Yeah. Awesome. Again, another one that
Yep.
you think because the whole package is so nice and it can be like,
Yeah.
that opening roll is just fucking
I know.
great.
I mean, there's oh man, I will after we get done with year two. There's a couple others that I would actually put in there.
Okay. What you got, Antonio?
Burn.
Burn.
Yep, that was going to be my
that's-
second
yeah,
choice.
it's,
Yep.
we would literally be canceled as a podcast if this was not one of the three nominations.
Somewhere in there.
We get blasted on the interwebs. Yeah, but I mean, come on,
Yeah.
that's just
How can you not?
when especially hearing it live, like when those drums kick in, it's just like you feel it in your chest. You're on for a wild ride of a song, and it's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I love that one because it's become like kind of Boris and Jason's now because it had such a huge break of never being played live.
Yeah.
It's Boris's shining swan song, if
yeah.
you will. But then a lot of times, even for like Jason's birthday and stuff, people are all posting shit with Burn on it,
Well,
and
I
it's
was
like,
just, I was just gonna say,
they-
I mean, and to me, they're the shining stars behind the drums for me of The Cure, and to have the person that kind of came up with it and crushed it, and I think it was so important to find someone that could also like hold that up, and like Jason does it so well, and also not for the fact that like it's mostly toms and it's still that incredible, like it's just
very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, so for my choice then, and it's funny because somehow this came up way back with Donald and Chaz and I on an episode. I remember Chaz being like, what the fuck y'all talking about? Because Donald and I just love the Untitled drum beat. It's like not like the flashiest or anything, but it's just this really like rhythmic and melodic, it's almost like a hook, like a guitar part somehow, or just like when you hear it, how it goes around to each little progression of the drums, and it's so beautiful and I love it and could just listen to somebody play that all day, which I can't say for a lot of drum beats.
Yeah.
And But I'm not going to choose that one because it is just kind of a cool thing. I'm going to change it up and give Jason some love and pick Blood Flowers, the song, actually. Cause
wow.
I think that sounds really rad at the beginning.
And, you are correct, but that was not even remotely on my radars because
I feel like it's kind of and especially because it's, I love that song a lot, but it isn't like, top 10 Cure songs or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just a really fucking cool and underrated beat in particular. I think if I was somehow gifted enough to be able to crush drums, I would want to just sit around and play that for a while.
After the obvious answer for me, which was Burn, the rest was like you could go so many different ways. I mean, just like Heaven's drum beat, like has those has like this like little like hesitant like fills that are so good. I mean, it's so tough.
Yeah.
Cool. An honorable mention for me would probably be the Hanging Garden.
Yeah. There's some cool low ones for sure.
Yeah.
Those early on ones, or even like Figurehead or something, where
that was that was another one that I would have put on there too.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's move into the more technical stuff. Guitars, everybody loves fucking guitars. We're gonna break this into 2 categories then. So for this one, let's kick it off with best studio. So on a recording, lead part or solo, and I kind of wanted to distinguish between those two because like a lot of times the Cure doesn't really do a lot of big ripping, here comes the guitar solo kind of thing. It'll just be like some cool, what I would consider more of like a lead guitar riff or something, and then it just happens in the solo spot or something. So lead spot or full on solo on a recording. What do you think, Antonio?
Crap. Yeah, I know. I'm the one that leaned into the live one, so like my brain is like, but I think actually, I won't say anything about the live one, but I'm gonna go with Never Enough guitar solo.
Okay, yeah, that's a super guitar.
That made me so angry.
Guitar.
I had to poke the bear.
Yeah, you don't even like the guitars on that one, man.
I don't fucking like that song at all. Oh my god, I hate that song. Not even the
video.
No, that was weird. Like I didn't like that
the video is weird. Yeah,
I love it. Cool. I'll choose. Let's see, guitar. I'm going with why I was given that disclaimer is that the guitar solo / lead part on Strange Day is my favorite because it's weird because it's kind of a riff that's in the song. You don't really realize early on before it even gets to the solo part, but then when it all breaks down, it's like turns into this fucking anthem guitar rock solo kind of thing, but it's been there the whole time. And how fucking cool is that to have like a part you're just pulling out again, but now all of a sudden it's like the coolest fucking, and it's not like shredding by any means or anything complicated, but it's just so goddamn catchy, I catch Henson just walking around going I'm just like, yeah, man. So I'm going with that one. What do you got, Chaz?
I don't want to do the same answer for both questions.
I know that's tough. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the second answer is going to be the same for a lot of us. But I'm going to go with the Blood.
Okay. The guitar set. Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah. It's all the classical guitar part ripping through it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good thinking. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, me too.
Blood is often neglected, I think. But cool. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do the live version then. I guess I got to go with modern day Reeves on End Song. I'm just still glowing from the tour of what he's doing on End Song when it kicks to the actual. I mean, even when it's not the solo, that whole song is just amazing guitar stuff. But live, when it gets that solo part by the end, I felt like it even kind of mutated a bit by the time they got to South America, where it was in like full Pokemon form or some shit. Yeah, bonkers. So I'm like, sweet. Maybe just the quality of the bootlegs was better by that point. But what you got, Chad?
It's Reeves again, but it's From the Edge of a Deep Green Sea.
Yeah.
He fucking wails on that song.
Yeah,
and like I think he makes it his own. Yeah, I don't. That
Cool.
would be mine.
Yeah, I had Poral's Edge of the Deep Green Sea as a backup. So
Really? Okay. All right.
But even though you can't really.
it's so tough because now
I think if we're going guitar solo, like I don't know, like a live guy, I think it's like you got to go balls to the wall kind of. And that's
yeah.
Sure.
And as much as I wanted to give one to Pearl, I got to go for my selection. Reeves, A Night Like This, ripping the saxophone solo is just it's so good.
That's
Like
not,
does
yeah,
dive
that's a great
bombing
answer.
with the, and he uses a lot more whammy bar than Pearl did. And although what I now like to call Billy Corgan wannabe era Pearl with bald and the makeup, he was doing some amazing shredding. So I hate that we didn't get one for him on here, but it's hard to pass up. Like when he does that saxophone solo, when Reeves does it, it takes on a life of its own. You forget there was even a saxophone in the song, and it's so badass.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between like Reeves is like this classical kind of rock guitar guy, and you have Pearl that's just whimsical, and you have the shoegazy kind of feeling to his
Right,
guitar playing that you don't get in Reeves. But I don't know. Maybe it's because we just saw them and we're on that high. But like I think he just like from 2016 to now, I think he just completely changed how he sounds.
And I think that's also why I give it to him. Also because I think he's also evolved in his time with the Cure, and I think right now he is at his absolute peak guitar playing. And maybe it's because now he's really comfortable in that role, and he's worked on he's worked on a studio album, allegedly, because until I hear it, it's allegedly. But I mean, it's just some of the stuff more recently, it's like another level. Like it's Van Halen-esque, and some of it in a band that is not known for its guitar parts and guitar riffs. He's just kicking ass.
Cool deal. Well, let's shift gears to vocals then, since that's the other biggie with Cure stuff. So we're doing studio and live for that one as well. So the best vocal performance on a recording from Robert Smith, since nobody else seems to want to contribute any vocals on Cure stuff.
I know. I was like, it's all him.
So where are we at? Chaz? Did I do the last one? I've already lost track.
I feel like I don't want to do the same answer for both of them, but I kind of have to do, and Disintegration is my favorite vocal performance of Robert. Hands down.
Hard to argue that. So, cool. What about you, Antonio?
I'm gonna go with. It's again. I want to go with my number one, but I'm like no. Gavin probably didn't choose it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Burn.
Burn? Yeah, he's crushing it on that for sure.
I mean, when he starts belting it out, it's a beautiful, like, it's almost like a beautiful cry. It's not a scream. It's not a yell. It's still like vocally, but where he gets with the intensity is just so great. But then it's still calm and quiet at some parts, and it's just Burn.
Very cool. Strangely enough, this is the first time maybe those were my first two choices. So then by the third one, I was starting to think, well, let's tone it back and not so much like belting out performance that I loved. I was like, okay, Close to Me, I think, is really impressive just in the way that it is so whispery and like an actual different kind of performance than what we'd get live necessarily, so it's just like an actual great thing that got captured in the studio in that moment. I feel like so I'm gonna go with Close to Me.
Damn it, I wish I would have went with my other one, because then you would have gone with Burn, maybe. I'm like, damn it, because I was gonna say Underneath the Stars.
That's a good
it's
one.
overlooked.
And that was actually on my list.
Oh, was it? Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right.
I love that song.
As a fourth one I had in my head was One More Time, even though it's not the greatest song, but the way he's like kind of breaking vocally, even, it's like such an emotional when he's singing that it's like, that was a hell of a performance, because that could be a song that wasn't anything special if he didn't really go over the top and bleed on the microphone. So he just crushes it. Well, let's go live then. Let's see if there's one recording or bootleg that you can cite that is just that fucking defining moment where Robert channeled it perfectly.
I'm gonna go with "I Could Never Say Goodbye" from this, last tour. And then I guess I'm gonna go with "Merryweather" just because we were like right up in his face.
That was the one.
Best. Yeah, it's excellent. Just it is like you feel the gut wrenching, thoughts and emotions in it. It's beautiful. It's angry. It's and not only that, it's someone in their in their 60s like now, and there's something even more so to be said about when I think about how many singers have dropped off in the later years and can't pull off their old songs, and their new songs don't sound like they did then, and they can't hit the high notes, and they can't belt things out. This just is a perfect testament to the standing the test of time in vocal performance. So I will give it to "I Could Never Say Goodbye."
Excellent. Cool. Loop back around to me, then I'm gonna go with Prayers for Rain on Entreat, or the Pictures of You CD single. I think it's the same performance. Entreat
good
one.
Call, good call.
Where he just belts out Rain for like 2.5 hours, right? Doesn't it keep going? I think
he holds that.
So that one just nails it almost better than the recording, which is something to be said because it's from the perfect album. So what about you, Chaz?
Anytime they play Disintegration live. So
General Encompass.
Eddie Disintegration. Cool. Yeah, I had to give a runners up too to shout out to Letter to Elise Unplugged too. That's a great one.
That was gonna be on. I was gonna, but I already did Letter to Elise. But I already did Disintegration. So what the fuck? I mean,
listen, the good songs are the good songs, and all the things they encompass. So we can't really, shit on it.
You know what? I'm gonna say, because it meant a lot to me. Disintegration at where was it? Down in Australia when they did that anniversary thing.
Okay.
So,
that was a great one. Wow. Again, another late performance, being the best ever. Robert's going to be glowing when he sees these awards.
Like a fine wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
The older the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Cool. All right. Next, we got everyone's favorite category: best remix or extended mix / dance mix / whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
But all those wonderful extended remixes. And I guess I'll kick it off with, let's see, I'm going to go with the Close to Me remix.
God damn it.
One, so. Sorry, man. But what'd you guys, your backup, Chaz?
Oh my God. I don't even fucking, never enough big mix. I don't know. No,
never enough big mix. No. That's the only version you like, is the...
It's not the original one.
Yeah.
I guess the Boys Don't Cry remix that they did in '86.
New voice.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Antonio?
All right. So I'm gonna go with the A Forest Tree mix.
Excellent. All right. Some solid choices. Boys Don't Cry, A Forest, and Close to Me, all from the original mixed up. Oh no, not Boys Don't Cry, never mind. Next category is best logo for the band. Chaz, you want to lead that one off with your choice and nomination for the best logo? What era?
1985.
85 logo.
Yep.
Cool. For Head on the Door.
Yep.
Excellent. Kind of sloppy, kind of beautiful. I dig it too. Cool.
Just like Chaz, sloppy and beautiful.
Yep, that's right.
Sloppy and beautiful. What'd you think, Antonio?
I am gonna go with I'm not sure on the year, so I just went with the explanation. I'm gonna go with the one where the C is lower than the rest of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Drop
the
C.
C is down here and the Cure is up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so I guess that would be the first 3, 4 albums. So all the way
Yeah,
up.
that'd
Yeah.
be Three Imaginary
Or not
Boys,
porn.
17
Yeah, I kind of love
Seconds.
that one, and I feel like it's because of like I'm a symmetrics freak. So with the C dropping down, it's like the center, so it's like 3 and 3 in the season. You know, like
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's pretty classic.
Yeah, I love that one. It's just boom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it stopped at pornography, so that was it went to Faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though you'd think it would be with pornography too, but
Yeah, the pornography one's really underrated. But go ahead.
that's thin.
Yeah,
font.
just the thin. Yeah.
The thin font. True. I love the Kiss Me one still, even though when they do like all the lettering and stuff, it can get a little like jumbled and
Yeah.
hard to read. But like just the Cure part of it, maybe it's just because I wrote it on so many notebooks as a kid.
Right,
Constantly, that and the Wish one, you know. But so yeah, I think I'll go with 87 Kiss Me era font. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of beautiful to look at, you know, the little
I-
swirlies.
And this might be controversial, but I think those are the only three that you couldn't go with, in my opinion. I mean, I love Disintegration, but like, it's very simple.
Yeah. Even
Same
Wild
thing
Mood
with
Swings is just kind of blocks.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe the top.
Yeah, that one
just
is
'cause it's kinda
interesting, and it's strange, but
I like the current
Yeah.
one actually. I'd put up there with all of them. I think the one for this last tour has been cool.
It wasn't bad. Yeah.
I like
yeah.
it.
Yeah. One I'll give honorable mention to is the Walk font. It's like
yeah, that is a very
all
cool
lowercase.
Yeah, it is pretty
It's
cool.
kind of the letters are kind of rubbed out on it a little.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely like that one a lot.
My answer was going to be anyone that Chaz put on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them, I think. I don't know if I missed any of them.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, I didn't do Blood Flowers or anything like that, but
And the Wish one works well for Wish, but it's still kind of goofy
Yeah,
with the
it's-
slugs, and it's like, I just
They're
like
all
it
the
because it's
same
easy
letter,
to
look.
draw.
yeah.
Again, I could write it on notebooks in high school, so I was happy with that
Yeah.
one. But, all right, Antonio, you want to lead us off with the best album cover while we're in the art
Ooh.
design
Bum, bum,
realm?
bum. All right.
Favorite album cover?
My favorite album cover is going to be Standing on a Beach.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a good one.
That was on there.
yeah,
That
I
would
mean,
count.
you know, it being
Yeah.
a photo, and we've talked about it in passing, just when we're talking about some of these records, how we feel about the art on it. So it's it's
Yeah.
been said, but it's just a beautiful photo. It's beyond recognizable now. It is
Yeah.
just it also just felt like it wasn't trying too hard. It was like, oh, this is a great image. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And so that's I
Push
mean,
the
they're not really
buttons.
known for their fantastic
Yeah.
graphic design. So I figured let me go with the one that has just a beautiful portrait photo on it. Because also I didn't know, I also wasn't sure like if we were gonna, if singles counted. So
Yeah.
no,
I think
Yeah.
because I was because I do love the Walk art
Yeah.
cover,
Yeah.
but I wanted to keep it with more like full collection albums. So
Yeah.
I went with
Yeah. I didn't know compilations counted, or else that would have been on my list. I would've-
Okay.
I was just like, damn, I love that cover
Yeah, I
so
think
much.
all of them are
And talk
fair
about the
game.
font. Like the
Yeah.
font on that,
Yeah.
or the logo on that is so simplistic. They could have done the drop C on that or something, because that's most of where the songs came from.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would have done it, but I don't think it would have looked as good.
Gee.
Because it's also not
Yeah,
crazy
no,
where
yeah.
it pulls away from the image. I feel like they were smart where
Yeah,
it
no,
was
it
like,
doesn't.
let's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's not mess with this. And none of the songs
Yeah.
on that are to be messed with either. So it's kind of
Yeah.
And it's funny for the listeners out there, you can't see right now. We did the rare example of pulling up a backdrop, and Antonio has the album covers behind him. So I'm looking at Mr. Buttons over your shoulder there. And I don't know if it's because I'm feeling particularly old today or what, but he almost doesn't even look that old now to me. I mean, looks like one of my friends or some shit.
Yeah, that's like those. That's like the memes you see when you're like, Steve Martin is 77. But I thought he was 77 25 years ago.
The traveling Wilburys were all in their like mid 40s. You know, I'm like, what? I thought they're all like 80. But yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he looks like an old man, but not like that older than most of my friends or family. I'm like, shit, we're all getting old. But yeah, I love it. It's beautiful portraits. I'll continue with I'm gonna go with Head on the Door for almost the complete flip side of it's my favorite cover, I think, just because it is so kind of mysterious. You could sort of make it out. You could really read into it if you want to, and just kind of captures the music, but not too much in the sense where, you know, it's arguable if you just like the cover or just like the album that you like the cover or whatever. I think that one's a good cuts the difference, just cool colors and blurry without being like blurry 17 seconds where it's literally just a blur, you know. But I love it. So Head on the Door is my choice. What about you, Chaz?
That was my number one. I think that's the best album cover that they did. But I'll go with my second choice, and that's going to be Faith.
Cool.
I think that above, I think they could have done something a little bit different with Pornography, although that's probably like my third one. But I think Faith matches that album so perfectly. It might be too on the nose, but like with the gray and then the abandoned church in the background, and it's just I think it's a perfect cover.
Right on. Yeah. Cool. Faith, Head on the Door, and Standing on the Beach are the nominees for Best Album Cover. All right, let's move into another subcategory of video. Let's start out with full live performance video. So like a full show that they've released. I'm going to go with In Orange. We'll just stick with the classics. You know, I've ranted about that enough, but it's what hooked me initially in a sense. So got to go with that one. What about you, Chaz?
I'm going to go with In Orange because it's the best video of all time. I don't know. I only had that answer just because I can't like I don't know. The 40th anniversary one, would that count? I mean, I would put that on there, except there's the fucking sun kills half the performance.
Yes, I mean, you got that, the curation thing, the show. You got show. So
I'll lob it to Antonio to knock it out of the park.
I'm gonna go with, if it counts, I'm gonna go with the 40 live from
Oh shit, I forgot about Trilogy.
But like since that one came with two, I'm gonna, you know what I mean, like curation.
Call them a package deal on. You're gonna go with the box set. That could count, I guess. Yeah, why not? If it came together.
Yeah, I mean, they came together, but they are two separate DVDs, though, or Blu-rays. I'm gonna go with curation. So let me be simplified.
Okay, curation from that sounds good.
And if we're gonna define the rules again, then I'm gonna go with Trilogy.
Yeah.
So Trilogy counts too.
Hey,
so
listen, we can change it until we put up the.
I was just like, oh man, Trilogy, I can't forget about that one.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna say that. I couldn't believe you didn't.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say show, so I didn't. So I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna say
nobody
that.
Picked show. So our final choices for the nominees of live video performance will be In Orange, Trilogy, and Curation. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to best live album, just audio. Well, what do you think, Chaz? Which one do you like to listen to when you channel your live cure?
Show, but I was gonna put In Orange, but I didn't know if that counted or not because it was.
Let's say no because it hasn't been officially released as an album.
No, it still hasn't. Yeah,
it's oh man,
just
I thought
I saw somebody selling at a record shop that bootleg for $250 now. So that bootleg,
the vinyl, or the laser disc.
No, the vinyl. That one goes for a bunch.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
the orange one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's just a fucking bootleg, and he's selling it for $250. Not a very creditable record shops, but I won't say their name. But it's not one of my favorites here. But
yeah, if we're gonna exclude that, I'm gonna go with Show then. Okay. So Show will get it some love.
Yeah, give some Show love. Yeah. Cool. Antonio, which is your favorite live album?
I'm gonna go with Paris.
Yes, and since both of those were chosen from my list, I'll go with Entreat.
Yeah, and that was my third also. So
I'll go with the original one just to make everybody happy with the different mixes. But the original version of Entreat, I'll say, even though it's missing some songs, but I guess we can compromise that for the superior sound, even though.
Yeah. Well, one of the only ones would be Concert, right?
Yeah, Concert or Festival, whichever the audio version of it, Festival. Or I guess the audio versions of Hyde Park and Curation.
Oh yeah, those wasn't that, and that was part of the box set too, right? Was the CD?
You got the whole batch, CD and video. But
yeah,
cool. All right, so Entreat, Show, and Paris are the live album nominees. Music video.
I'm gonna go with Lullaby.
Lullaby. That high budget. Fancy production video. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Scarring children everywhere for years. Cool. I'm going to go with, let's see, my favorite music video. That's a tough one. I guess I got to go with Pictures of You, even though it's nothing flashy. I just love the song so much, and I love that they didn't fuck up the song. So that's cool. They added to it. And there's just something kind of dreamy and cool about it with the Super 8 footage and the wet snow and palm trees. Yeah. Pleasant feelings.
Great.
But what do you got, Chad?
I have Close to Me.
Yeah. The original or the sequel?
The original.
Cool. Yeah. That was on my list. So Close to Me and Pictures of You and Lullaby. So let's move on to the final section. These are all the heavyweight awards here that everyone's been waiting for. And we're going to kick it off with producer credits. So, best producer on a Cure album. And I guess I'll kick that off. So I'm going to go ahead and take our boy David M. Allen as the best Cure producer for all the albums he did with them onward. Chaz, your choice?
I'm going to take Phil Thornalley.
Yeah.
Can't fuck with pornography.
One album, one single, but makes a lasting impression. So what do you got, Antonio?
All right. So my 1 and 2 are taken.
Ross Robinson.
Mike Hedges.
Yeah. Mike Hedges, producer of 17 Seconds and Faith. Engineer on Three Imaginary Boys, I believe. That's how they initially crossed paths. Very cool. So, yeah, kind of the predictable top 3, even though no hard feelings to the leader crew. Or maybe. I don't know. So let's move on. Best lineup. All right, this is where it starts getting a little controversial. People are going to get riled up here. So we had to break this one up into 2 categories as well. Best lineup of The Cure on studio recordings and best lineup of The Cure live. Will they vary? Who knows? So you go ahead, Chaz, and tell us your first choice for, let's do on album first. Best lineup on a recorded
studio album. I'm going to go in the 1985 album. I have a thing going here, I guess.
Yeah.
Cure lineup on a recording is going to the Disintegration lineup.
Hard to So that still technically includes Lowell. So he's made it in.
He
there.
did. He
Sneaky.
squeaked in the
Sneaky.
right in the back door.
My selection for best Cure lineup on a recording. I'll go with 92. Then the Wish lineup is
all three of my selections.
over.
All three of
Oh man, my second selection was 82.
82. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's always tough. Yeah, because it would be like the three of them cutting loose, But and it's tough with 92 because you don't have Roger in there. But at the same time, I feel like the dynamic was at its peak of the golden era,
Yeah.
And so sounding good, but probably wasn't the best lineup because then they all like left after that. So whatever the fuck happened in the Wish studio, they're like, but it seems like they had a good time. All right, so let's do the live version then, and kick it off with Antonio, best live Cure lineup.
There we go. Robert, Simon, Boris, Pearl, Perry.
Okay, so you're going with the Wish. Yeah, is that Wish era? With Robert, Simon, Borel.
Borel. It's the two of them mixed together.
And Perry. So I'll say 92 era for Antonio's choice of best live lineup, which also matches your choice of Paris for best live album. So that makes sense.
Maybe, right? Yeah, it does good.
There we go. All works out. Looping back to me, my best live album. Ooh.
Or live lineup.
Live lineup, sorry. I had 92 as well, so next on my list would be, I guess I'll go with that 86, just because I love, like, the energy of, like, In Orange and such, so I'll go with that, although I was very tempted. We'll see what you got, Chaz. I'll give you my honorable mention after this. What is your favorite live line?
Oh, no, that's all right. I was going to say 85, but I think that's a little too close to 86 because it's like the same lineup.
Yeah.
Robert, Pearl, Roger, Simon, Lowell, and Boris.
Yeah.
I would just say just about any year with Boris, just because I want to, I don't know, he's one of my all-time favorite drummers.
Yeah.
So we'll go 89.
Okay. Yeah. Seems like a good
And yeah.
covering the spaces. I did have the present day lineup very close to nudging in because I think they're crushing it live.
I do too. I know. I was thinking that also.
But I'm
That's what
almost
I thought.
like,
Yeah, I thought one of you guys were going to go with that.
yeah, I was feeling it because they've been sounding so good, but at the same time, the youthful energy does go a long way live. I feel like just considering how much they're bopping around and stuff in Orange.
Yeah,
I gotta go with that.
Well, one of the biggest things I have against that is that they haven't put anything out together, so it's like I can't base anything off of I don't know, it dings it a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, but also it's hard to go up against Pearl's like live like energy was just so awesome. I mean, he's swinging around, he's like, you know what I mean, like he's like, even from his younger years to his, crazier bald years with makeup, he was freaking like, that energy was like very hard to.
Cool, man. Well, let's get into the trio here at the end. This is the top of the pile here of awards that we are giving out to The Cure. First, we'll do best single, so an actual single released from an album, the best single, whether it be success-wise, your favorite, or just you think it's a great single that represents the album, all that packaged into one glorious song. Let's see. So I will say for best single, I gotta go with my old predictable one, Pictures of You.
Yep,
Pictures of You.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, I think it captures everything that I love about The Cure and represents Disintegration as far as a diplomat for the album or whatever. However that works. What do you got, Chaz?
You're going, wasn't that your wedding song? Pictures of You?
Nah, we didn't really have one.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. Oh.
But,
well, I'll go with mine, and that's Just Like Heaven. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even hard. It's hard to argue the impact that single had. You know.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that definitely took it to the next level for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And it totally carries that whole album.
A discussion for another day. What about you, Antonio? What is the shining single from the Cure's catalog for you?
So my numero uno was taken, so I'm gonna go with Charlotte Sometimes.
All right. Yeah.
Very nice. Very
That'd
nice.
be a good underdog single there, maybe.
Yeah,
some
definitely.
people's.
Absolutely.
Very cool. All right.
Honorable mentions, anybody?
I guess
all of them.
I had Letter to Elise just for personal love again.
Yeah, same.
In Between Days was my second choice.
I also kind of had Primary. Was
that's not. Was
like a
that would be a good single.
Curveball for
actual singles.
Yeah. So then I guess the next one kind of might be in the same vein. This is like the Grammys where it gets all fucking what? The next one's just best song.
Yeah.
So I guess that opens it up to like deep cuts, the B-sides, everything. So best song by The Cure ever. Chaz, kick it off.
Disintegration.
Dun, dun, dun. Excellent. Cool. Hard to
favorite vocal performance, favorite live performance.
Yeah.
And my favorite just song overall. So
damn.
Yeah.
So if Chaz gets its way, Disintegration the song will be going full Slumdog Millionaire and just sweeping the Cure award.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that popped in my head, but that won a lot, right?
I think so. I didn't even see that movie.
It was like the last time I watched the Oscars, I think. But okay, what'd you get, Antonio? Best song.
Pictures
ever
of You.
Oh,
I figured I'd say it so you don't have to double up.
Yeah, that way.
That was low, Antonio.
What a nerd.
Punch.
Damn it. So I have to go with Just Like Heaven. I feel like that is not only the best Cure song ever, but maybe the best song anyone's ever written, ever.
That was my second choice.
Take that, Beatles.
Yeah, this was a tough one.
It's such a simplistic, beautiful, perfect from lyrics to melody song.
Well, if we,
it sounds perfect.
If we were gonna add this if we were gonna add another category, like I was gonna say best pop song, like that, I think
dark song.
Just Like Heaven, I think is one of the most perfect written pop songs, even just in general, like pop. When you if someone says to me like, what's pop music to you, like what's a pop music, like sing great, Just Like Heaven encapsulates all of it, like it's like if
it's got probably the best lineup of the band.
Jocks will put it on a jukebox. You know what I mean? But
well, that's not saying a lot. There's plenty of Nickelback on there too. But I think it's the best one of the best lineups of the band too. And you have David Allen. Like I think everything's
came together
coming up. Robert at that point in time.
But again, we've all mentioned even the bass line, the guitar part, the drum part, the keyboard part could be. I mean, it's just
great.
It's every single instrument has a standout point in it. That's like unbelievable.
Nobody's just filling it up. Every little note is useful and where it should be. So so that's our three choices: best song, Pictures of You, Just Like Heaven, and Disintegration, which is cool too. So we got some non-single in there. We got Disintegration heavy, but that's to be
expected when you write the greatest album of all time.
That leads us to tonight's final category. Not that this is rigged in any way.
All paid by Big Disintegration.
Yes. I slid us $20 to make sure we could get a little more Disintegration hype out into the universe. For sure. So we've come to the final moment of the evening. I know it's running late, guys. Thanks for sticking with us here at the ceremony. Please tip your bartenders.
Someone somewhere is hitting the wrap it up button.
Yeah, the microphone's shrinking in front of me. But it's the big award, so this one gets all the time to praise as we need. Our choices for the best Cure album ever, and let's kick it off with, I guess, was it Chaz is back who did the first one?
I did
Antonio?
the first one. Yeah.
All right. So Antonio gets the kick off. Best album ever.
No.
By The Cure.
I mean,
don't you take my choice, man.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Well, I feel
the self-title.
Just kidding.
Holy shit!
Oh, no. What was that Oscar where they said the wrong movie? It's on part.
It was La La Land and Moonlight. Moonlight actually won.
Yeah,
it was a far superior movie.
Oh no!
So, Chaz, don't kill me, but Disintegration.
I can't.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I honestly,
you would have been mad if I didn't say it.
Yeah. I have 3 secondary answers, but that's still the
right.
I can't.
Yeah. For me, my number 2 and my number 3 switch around all the can be one of multiple albums, but my number 1
after, especially by that third choice. It's like, oh sheesh, there could be so many different angles, different moods, so many things.
Yeah.
So if it goes back to me after Disintegration, I'm gonna nominate Head on the Door, since I feel like it's clear, concise, nice little package, and a great starting off point for many fans. And Head on the Door, leading our final nominee too.
Yeah, I think at that point, after at my point in my life right now, I think Head on the Door is my second choice. And then this one was difficult. This one's difficult right now for me because I have 2 choices here. And one I think is a perfect album from start to finish, and the other one I think has one bad track. And I got to go with the one that I think's perfect from start to beginning, and that's Pornography.
Yeah.
Second pick would be Wish, but Wendy Time.
But
I could say the same thing with Head on the Door with Baby Screams, but I can make it through that song.
Yeah, Wendy Time kills the
buzz. Can't. It's always skip.
Yeah, so it's tough. Plus, it's directions for when you think of other Cure fans and other Cure fans voting and stuff. You kind of have to go with Pornography, I think, too, in a sense, or it's like that represents the dark.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's always those 2 sides of the Cure fandom. There's the Pornography purists, and there's the Disintegration unapologeticness. So I mean,
a good battle.
Yeah, I think we kind of nailed this category. I'm going to tap us on the shoulders here.
Disintegration, Head on the Door in the middle, Pornography on the dark end of the spectrum. So I wonder, I don't know.
Yeah,
where
it's dark, it's poppy, and it's both. You know what I mean?
So I feel good about that.
And there's going to be people out there that would want to switch faith with Pornography, or maybe even 17
Head on the Door with
Seconds.
Wish and people.
Yeah, but I'm going to say that I don't think they had one bad song from 17 Seconds to Pornography. So I could interchange any of those depending on I talked about it before, depending on my mood. But I think they're all pretty much perfect.
As we all sit here,
that one song, it honestly just I think it just I don't know, it chops the legs out from underneath that album. And to me anyway, and it's like but hearing the other mixes of that song, I'm just like, it could have worked, guys. It could be one I could have made it through.
That's the more frustrating part. They just put that slightly more mellow version in there. It would have been pretty flawless.
And as we sit here in February with everyone having seasonal depression, you have to have Pornography in there.
Or Faith. I get it.
Yeah.
You might be in that
Faith
deep
guy, but you can't deny the genius of Pornography either. So it's a tough call. I don't know what the people will choose. I would suspect Disintegration will still reign champion because it cuts the difference a lot more. But
and I would also say to the listeners, this is something like if you guys want to float out to your friends that might I'd love to hear even just some casual Cure fans getting in on this as well. Not just the diehards, because it's fun, and this band's for everyone.
Yeah.
So share the links, on your personal pages. Get your friends involved. I want to try to get a lot of tons of votes on these, because I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to see the results.
Because if it's just us and like 2 other people, then it'll be not that thorough. But
I want to say this: not very many bands get shouted out as having the greatest album ever on one of the most popular TV shows of all time. Disintegration is the greatest album ever. So that doesn't happen very often. So
even if you broke down the list of musicians that have been featured on South Park, you've got it's Robert's.
Not many of them in positive lights.
No.
Which is
true.
weird.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
he's one of the only ones that have been like, this dude's like a god to us. Like, we're gonna make him into a god. So
that's so true.
But very cool. Like I said, all these choices, it's like any award show. I'm sure there was ones people disagreed with strongly or whatever, but at the same time, these are the nominees this year. If we pull this off, maybe we could do it again next year. And
few curveballs, though.
Yeah, there's a few curveballs. Nothing too insane, I hope. But yeah, I feel that would like a Forest, wins best song on all those polls a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Not even in our category.
Yeah.
So there you go. Not that we don't love the song, just
and listen, there are other categories we can pick for next year too. Like we can go like deep and obscure. We can go like
dark.
I would like to do a
one?
like a Razzies sort of one.
Yeah.
Like worst lineup, worst. Worst.
I was thinking more like
worst album,
best
worst
Cure song to have sex to. Best Cure song when you want to jump off a bridge. Best breakup.
Best song to punch a hole in the drywall.
Exactly.
That's probably what people are expecting from us more anyway. What is all this serious bullshit? Yeah, so definitely lots of possibilities if this takes off. Hopefully the link will work good and where it'll be anonymous and you can just put it in and no matter where you are, we'll get the same results in the end. Like I said, we're going to leave it up for probably the full 2 weeks. We'll do a different episode in between and then we'll come back either at the start of a different topic or just spend the whole nother episode going over the winners. Mm-hmm. So we'll give it a full 2 weeks, though, of voting time that way. And then we'll have a little in-between episode there to clear everybody's mind. And then we'll come back and unveil the winners, your choices, not ours. So it's out of our hands by that point. So very cool. And I guess the big after party is all we got left, guys. So what do you say? We put our big sneakers on and go get some free punch and pie.
Punch and pie.
I need some. Yeah, I got to get some of that special mushroom tea.
Champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
Yeah, pour some red wine and some orange juice.
Yeah.
And this is it. Time to cut loose. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing all the choices. So now you should, if you listen to this whole thing, be like, fuck no, or you know your choice right off the top of your head. So go over there. It's available right now and make your selections for these and we'll see the results. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the awards show and we'll see you next time with the results. Talk hard.
Good night, everyone.
All right, guys. Actually, there's going to be an episode in between this one and the results. So I want to give you the full 2 weeks to go out and vote, make your choices for these awards. We'll have a little intermission with a Curapedia book talk, and then we'll come back for the big ceremony, the unveiling of the answers, if you will. So thank you, Chaz. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you weren't screaming too bad at your devices based on our nominations. But get out there, go vote. The link is in our Instagram bio. It's on our Facebook page. and it'll also be on the YouTube page under the comments for this episode. So, all right, thank you so much, Chaz, Antonio, you guys for listening. And before you go out and vote, let's shout out our Patreon crew and get on out of here. We gotta thank Donna, Craig, Jeff Hilton, Jeff Cortland Jones, Sue, and Ben, who I also want to shout out is currently producing episodes of the official Betty Page podcast. Currently about 9 episodes are out, and Ben is also the guest on episode 8, talking about the historic marker that he got established for Betty Page outside of her old high school in Nashville, Tennessee. Ben seems like a super fun dude and has great taste, and seems like he's always making cool things happen out there. So if you're a Betty Page fan on any level, I recommend you go check that out. Seems like it's streaming everywhere. Just search official Betty Page podcast. And other amazing people that are on our Patreon include John and Alan and Allison, Dion, Namicio, Matt, Danny, Coulter, and Matt Ford, Tom Johnson, Tom Burns, Letty, John Roberts, Francisco, Jason, Craig Bellinger, Amber, Nicholas, Arno, and Chad. And of course, on behalf of Tanya, who will be the guest on our next upcoming Curapedia episode, we want to let you know about 988lifeline.org. It's a crisis and suicide hotline that has over 200 crisis call centers located all over the country, available 24/7, offering free and confidential support for people in distress and numerous prevention and crisis resources. It continues to be a tough time out there, but 988lifeline.org is there for you. Call or chat online if you or anyone you know is in need of help, so please reach out. If it is a Star Wars podcast that you're looking for in 2024, then it is in your best interest to check out the Sarlacc Digest. Our buddy Scott Kruger and his band of rebels go live every Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube or Facebook. Or you can catch the replays everywhere you listen to podcasts. They really nail theory crafting and sorting out all those endless rumors that you see swirling around the Star Wars galaxy. So go check them out. Tim is part of New Waterloo, a company that owns and operates 5 lovely hotels all across these fine United States. So enjoy yourself a nice relaxing stay at the South Congress Hotel if you're in Austin, Texas, or the Waymore's Guest House in Nashville, Tennessee, the Revival in Baltimore, Maryland, or El Capitan in Merced, California, and coming this year, the Albert in Fredericksburg, Texas. Dana is a motion designer and animator ready to help out your business or project. Check out her work at graphics.tv. That's graphics with an X.tv, and you'll be further convinced of her mad skills. Kate over at CureThreads.com is also a super talented artist, and at CureThreads.com you can shop a wide variety of Cure-inspired artwork on all sorts of products. And also check out her other project, Cure Arts Collab, on Instagram. They recently collected portraits from Cure fans of Jason Cooper for his birthday. So go check out the final product and montage of all the great artwork over there at Cure Arts Collab on Instagram. And if you're up in Calgary, Canada, and ready for a night out, then follow Lisa's advice and head on over to Dickens, the coolest venue in Calgary. Always cool shows and events going on. You can check out the full schedule at dickensyyc.com. And Club Nevermore down in Little Rock, Arkansas is another great spot for catching a great goth show or event. Jessica approved, so go visit clubnevermore.com for a full listing of all their upcoming events as well. And of course, Chaz over at Excommunication Station, his other podcast, is always cranking out the goods weekly. He and Donovan and Chrissy are currently wrapping up a series on Oral Roberts, so if you are in need of some thoroughly researched religion talk and a healthy dose of oral jokes, I highly recommend you go on over to the Excommunication Station and dig into that podcast. And don't forget that Antonio's project, Cult Leader, has a gig coming up still, the Dead of Winter Dark Wave Art and Music Festival, March 2nd at the Paramount in Huntington, New York. The lineup includes a boatload of DJs and Lost in Echoes, who's a Bauhaus tribute act, cult leader, of course, and bringing it all home is Corrine. So tickets are on sale now. Don't miss out. As for us, be sure to subscribe and do check out that Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram pages so you can vote on all these Cure Award categories. 1 vote per person, and or per device, I guess. If you really want to work the system, you can use multiple devices maybe. We'll give you the full 2 weeks to vote. We'll have that Curapedia episode up, and then following that up will be the results of the ceremony. So if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to drop me a line at gavinconnor@gmail.com. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Go rock the vote. Talk hard.